Hi guys, I hope you're well. It's Pat once again. I'm out here in my gym. It's super cold today. It's the day after Christmas. It's like 14 degrees out here. But I'm out here. I have some extra time. So I'm going to finally get around to doing one of the projects that I've been wanting to do for a while, but have just never gotten around to out here. And that is putting in a pull-up bar in the rafters. I have a pull-up bar over here. You can see it's attached to my squat rack. And it works great and everything. But a lot of times it's just kind of a hassle. If I'm using the squat rack, if I'm doing overhead presses or squats or whatever, if somebody's benching, or if my wife or my friend or my brother are over here with me, sometimes you get in the way and you try to have to kind of work around people to be able to do your pull-ups. Or I have my gymnastic rings attached over there as well. And, it would just be nice to have another option over here that's kind of out of the way. So, like I said, you can attach the gymnastic rings. You can do TRX bands attached to it. You can also I have resistance bands that I use quite often. So it just is going to give me another anchor point for those as well. I know a lot of gyms are closed right now. I live in Pennsylvania, so our gyms are closed until the beginning of the year. But you never know what the future holds as far as if they're even allowed to ever be open again, or who knows when more restrictions may come. This might be a good investment for you. And what I'm going to build today is a super easy and cheap way to do so at home. I'll make sure that I list all of the materials that I use in the description below, even though I'm using leftover stuff. Maybe you have some leftover stuff at your place you could use as well. I hope this helps somebody out, and I think there's not ever been a better time to get into working out at home and using what you have. Even if you have minimal equipment, being able to work out at home saves you a monthly fee of going to a gym, and it prevents instances of like your governor shutting down your gym. You still have a good fallback plan that is governor proof, COVID proof. So without further ado, I'm going to take you guys through this process and let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is figure out the pipe that you're going to use for the pull-up bar, and you're going to want to make sure you know what length you need. So you're going to have to do some measurements and see what's going to work for your particular situation. For me, I have this piece. This is 55 inches, so it's about 4'7". It was just left over from a previous project or something that I did before. Was up in the rafters in my garage, but you want to make sure you go with some high quality stuff. You don't want to use something cheap like an old broom handle or something that's going to be real bendy. You want something nice and sturdy like this pipe. And for all this stuff, I'll leave in the description below like what the price would be at Home Depot, for example, just so you guys get an idea of how much this would cost. And I'll also add all that up for you guys at the end. But you want to make sure you go with this good pipe. And for me, this is about 1.25 inches in diameter, and I'm going to use this 55 inches. I should be able to make work up in the rafters of my gym. So this is a good starting point. So for my 55-inch piece of pipe, I was thinking about putting it right over the center there. That looks to be like the most sturdy spot right up in there in my rafters. So I'm going to probably put it going across those two right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure down to see how far down that pipe should come so I have enough clearance so that people aren't hitting their heads off of the rafters up there when they're doing pull-ups. So let me do that real quick. All right, so all I'm doing right now is I'm going to see where this pipe is roughly going to sit. So right about in here, that looks like it's going to be perfect. It's going to be long enough to clear 3 of these beams up here. Now I want to see about how far I'm going to have to bring it. So figure if I go about right here, that should be plenty of space so that people aren't hitting their heads. So I can get my whole head up over this. It looks like I'm still pretty good, so maybe like right about in here actually would be good. So right about at the top of this is where I want my 2x4s to drop down to. Set that there. We'll go over here. We can probably make it, we'll make it 14 maybe. Well, we'll go 15 just to be safe. So 15 inches from this middle board here is where we want our 2x4 to come down to. So we're going to make our cuts for the 2x4. We're going to do 2 at 15 inches. All right, so 2 pieces at 15 on this 2x4. Measure and mark that. Hopefully this piece is enough. Yep, it is just enough. There we go. Okay, so what I've got here is I was going to use a paddle bit, but I don't have one quite big enough. This is an 1.5 hole saw attachment for my drill. So we're going to use this, and what I'm going to do is measure 2 inches up from the end of this board and mark. So I'll go right here. And so this is going to be where the center of that drill attachment is going to go, and I'm going to bore a hole right there. And I'm going to use this square just so I'm all even here. Got that, and then we want to find the center. All right, a lesson that I've learned from the School of Hard Knocks called life is to always test things before you get too carried away and install them, and you have to take things apart. So what I'm going to do real quick is just double check, make sure that, oh yeah, it fits. Make sure this one's good. Yep, check that out. That's a nice, pretty solid, pretty firm fit right there, but it's not too tight. I don't have to go back later once I install it and fix it. So you're welcome. Also, something that you want to do before you get too carried away is you got your screws, so you want to get a drill bit and pre-drill some holes in these before you get up there. Maybe start them out so you're not messing around when you're up in the rafters. All right, so here we go. The second one up here. Make sure that it's all lined up with the first. We should be all set. This way. All right, there we go. Sweet. Look at that. There it is. And there you have it. It is all good to go. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a little test here. So I do want to mention, I was talking about checking things earlier. One thing you do want to make sure is all clear before you wrap up and you put your tools away and everything. So you want to make sure that it is level. So that's why I had that level out. And you can see, even though I lined everything up, it's still slightly off. So what you do then is I'm just going to take some of the screws out of this board here, and I'm going to, which way? I'm going to bring that board down slightly just so it makes it level. You want to make sure you do that because if it's off a little bit, you're going to, when you're doing pull-ups or whatever you do, one side of your body is going to be working more than the other. So you want to make sure everything is balanced, level, and good to go before you put your tools away. All right, so I fixed the level issue. As you can see, we are all level now, all good to go. So I'm going to go inside, starting to not be able to feel my fingers and toes. I'm gonna get a warm cup of coffee. All right, so this thing is all set up and good to go. I am not supposed to be working out right now, doing anything besides walking, so I'm not gonna do a pull-up on it, but I will show you that this thing can hold at least 170 pounds of body weight, so. There you have it, nice and sturdy, good to go. All right, I hope this video helped you guys and inspired you to do your own pull-up bar at home. Super quick and easy to do. Probably would have taken me like 10 minutes if I wasn't messing around with the camera the whole time. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you need help designing or planning yours at home, shoot me a message or leave a comment below. And make sure you like the video and share it if you found it helpful. And I'll talk to you guys next time.